Hi, I'm Tyler Oakley.
And I'm Becca Frucht.
And welcome to Top That, your weekly pop culture cheat sheet to what everyone is and will be talking about on the web.
Each week, Tyler and I attempt to top each other with our own top 5 of what's hot on the web, everything you need to know.
And we're looking to see if you can top us, but today's episode is a little different.
This is very special.
What are we doing, Becca?
So National Coming Out Day is on October 11th. So we really wanted to celebrate and go big, so we are dedicating the entire countdown to coming out videos.
Right, and YouTube has played a very pivotal role
Yes.
in the coming out experience for this new upcoming generation. You get to look online and see a whole bunch of people's stories and kind of relate to them on a different level. Something that never even existed when I was like coming out. So
Such an amazing resource
Right.
for, anyone out there who's struggling. And I think it really puts the you in YouTube.
oh my God, that's beautiful.
Right,
You
it's
just put the
fun.
"ew" in YouTube.
Come on.
So let's get into it. Let's see what we have to share. I think you should go
Yeah,
first.
okay.
Top that. Top that.
And I am here today because I am gay. I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I'm gay.
Adam and I are both gay.
All right, my number 5, don't ask, do tell. Okay, yeah, so there was this guy, Are You Surprised? He was the Are You Surprised soldier. And he would film YouTube videos that were only from like the neck down, so you couldn't see his face. And he was overseas, he obviously serves in the military, and he was going through this process of like coming out.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Will you love me, period?
Yes.
He had waited till the moment that the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell officially went into effect.
It was like intense.
Right, there's so much happening here. We're talking about like the legal ramifications, what it means to be an American, what it means to serve this country. Also, just like the immediate like terror of coming out to your family because you just
Right.
know that this is a big thing.
Dad, I'm gay.
Okay.
Like, always have been. I've known since forever. I didn't want you to find out any other way.
Okay.
It was so
it
cute
was-
though.
But he was like, son, I'm proud of you, I love you. I mean, it was a heartwarming thing.
It was
There
a touching moment.
You still love me?
I still love you, son.
Are you okay, Dad?
Doesn't change our relationship. My son. I'm very proud of you. Okay.
I think for anyone who was following his blogs, it was just like big sigh of relief that he had
And
this support at home.
It was something that had built up so much over time
Yes.
with the Don't Ask, Don't Tell and everything like that. And so
Yes.
to see this culmination was just kind of like, wow, we are making actual progress.
Yes.
You want to tell Mom for me?
I don't believe so.
Aw,
He was like,
It was
you
cute.
got more. It was adorable. So, to Are You Surprised, Soldier,
good job.
we salute you.
I still love you, son.
Okay, so for my number 5, we have something that was kind of like a hidden camera thing. It's twins coming out to their parents live, and it's basically these two guys who have not told their parents yet that they are gay, but they've told each other, and they've
Okay.
kind of been going through it, kind of figuring it all out, and they're like, you know what, it is time. Let's tell our parents in the kitchen with the camera rolling without them knowing.
All right, me and Luke have like something you wanna.
Present?
I
can tell. You just kind of hang around like something's up.
Okay, so go
It's
ahead.
not easy to say,
Okay.
and you're gonna be very shocked.
Uh-oh. You
Like,
got us worried.
And this is like, it's just
You're nervous for them,
I'm
with
nervous.
them.
When I was watching it, I was like, because like you never know how a parent is gonna react. So they're in the kitchen. They're like, we have something to tell you, and there's like build up.
Adam and I are both gay. Yeah.
You're both gay?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know what, Luke? I thought you were, hon, but I was never
No,
sure
I know. Yeah, that's why I
about Adam.
it always drew the attention away from Adam.
They basically tell them their parents are supportive, thankfully, and there's some moments where they have these like questions like, have you always known? Have you ever been with a girl? And then one of the sons is like, I'm just not wired that way. To see a hypothetical parent actually go through that process live on camera was just like really cool. And to see the two kids go through it together.
This is a happy ending.
It was good.
Which we're all about on top of that.
Check it out.
Mom, Dad, I know you're watching this, so I love you. Like, you're the best parents ever.
All right, my number 4 is coming out to my mom live. So again, this is another one of those things where the camera's there, the whole thing. We're getting the raw emotion of what's going down.
Are we recording this?
Yes.
Oh, and I look my shittiest. Why?
Just do it. Okay, are we in the thing?
It's so crazy because you're like in the bedroom with these people. You're right
Very
there.
intimate.
Yes, it's very intimate. And in this situation, so we have a young man named Adam, and unfortunately, the suppression of his sexuality has just turned into like a really dark place for him.
Right.
I like guys.
Okay.
It's been something that I've not liked for a while, especially when people called me fag a lot, and then, of course, with Pat saying stuff.
And it's like one of those things where you're hiding yourself, and then it's like you lose your own identity because like you're trying so hard to hide.
Right, you're living a lie, and that manifests in such like really horrible ways for some people, you know. And for him, he went through depression. He was cutting himself. He was, you know, had a lot of self-hate. So he really needed to let this go.
That's why I was getting anxiety attacks, especially a lot last week, because someone I found out that I didn't want. And she was telling a lot of people, and it was really freaking me out.
There was one very lighthearted moment in this video where Adam turns to his mom and he's like, well, you know, I mean, you know how much I love Bradley Cooper.
I don't even know who Bradley Cooper is.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? And like gives her the hand, and I was like, that moment is what we're talking about.
Incredible.
Right here. Because that's just the realness of like, the whole situation is beautifully encapsulated in that little vignette.
Right.
I just was like, so, you know, sending lots of love to Adam and his mom. I thought this was beautiful, and I'd love to see, you know, moms just like doing the maternal thing.
Right, and just loving unconditionally.
You are my life. You know that?
Okay, so for my number 4, I have something very similar. It's another like live recording of a coming out, and this is actually by yeah, it's coming out to a mom, and this is actually by one of my friends. His name is Dan. His username is Mallow610. We have known each other for years and years and years, and so for me to see this in my subscription box as soon as it came out, I was like, oh my gosh, what a moment! And so I watched it, and I was like, oh my goodness. So he sets the camera up on the fridge. He's like talking to his mom in the kitchen, and he's
Mama
like,
doesn't know.
Yeah, and he's so nervous, and it's just like, my heart was like, oh my gosh.
Something different about the house?
No.
You cleaned? What?
I didn't clean.
What's going on? Huh?
He was like, oh my gosh.
He's like on his phone.
Is it
He's
the
like,
Starbucks? And I'm
right.
like, you're just having all the feelings.
Right.
I'm gay. Surprise.
Daniel? Daniel?
What? I know you probably already know, but I want to make it official.
You know what? I am so proud of you.
She just comes over and hugs him, and is just like telling him her fears.
I question whether the problem is in you, and my fear for you is that there's prejudice in the world. You know that.
Okay.
Well, I know, but you have to be careful.
It's not coming from a place of like hatred toward gay people. It's coming from a place of, I know how the world is, and I don't want to see you go through any trouble or any pain, and that's where my concern comes from. It has nothing to do with you being gay. It's just, I just want to protect my kid.
I'm okay with it. Do you have a boyfriend? If you have a friend or a boyfriend or a date, they're welcome here, Daniel.
All right, my number 3, Lucas and Jenny, are you gay? The big question.
The big question.
You know how they do like Q&As when they're just BFFs hanging in bed? Kind of. I mean, if we were in a bed right now.
Right, it would be similar to that.
It'd be pretty sins. Let's talk about where Lucas came from.
Right, so if you don't know, Lucas had an alter ego named Fred, and he had this like channel all dedicated to this character.
Crazy voice, Fred.
Hey, it's Fred, I gotta go to the movies!
It was the first, I think the first channel to ever hit 1 million subscribers, and the character was presented by Lucas, and Lucas now makes his own YouTube videos with his friend Jenny.
So it's like a kind of a Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus thing, is what we're talking about here. But this is Lucas, real deal, sitting with his BFF Jenny, and they're answering all these questions from fans, and then they throw up a ton of tweets that are just like, are you gay, are you gay, are you gay, are you gay?
Are you gay?
It's so funny hearing you say it.
And he comes out.
I'm gay. This feels so weird saying it. Come on.
It was just like a really cute, silly moment when he was blushing and kind of.
And like so like just kind of whatever. Like
When you first met me, did you know I was gay?
Yeah. Because you were like, hey!
Shut up.
It was not some big coming out video. It was just kind of like, yeah, next question.
And he even says to Jenny, he's like, well, we didn't have to make a video to tell everyone you're straight.
Right.
And that's what is like, I mean, hopefully, one day, and I love that we're doing this right now to celebrate everyone's courage, and one day we won't have to make this countdown because it won't matter.
Now you all know that he likes boys and not me.
Okay, so for my number 3, we have something that was like a huge phenomenon in the YouTube community, and that is a Draw My Life video from Ryan Waechter. And basically, he is a YouTuber. He did the challenge video of drawing his life, where you go on a whiteboard and you draw your entire life. I did my own, but his was really good because he talked a lot about his experience of kind of going through the process of coming out.
Felt it going up through my vocal cords, out my mouth, and I say, I'm bi. Wait, what? And deep in my mind, I'm just like, oh my God, Ryan, what did you do? You're not bi, what are you doing?
And, you know, having to navigate trying to pray the gay away and having to deal with eating his feelings and gaining so much weight because he was having a hard time dealing with
internalizing
who
all
he is.
this.
Their names were Cheetos, Oreos, and Ronald McDonald. That's right, I literally began to eat my feelings away, and by the time I was 14, I was 200 pounds and I was feeling completely awful about myself.
And so when I saw this, I was like, I need to include this in my countdown because it's just a good story that I think a lot of people that are going through similar things can relate to. So if you haven't seen it, it is definitely a Draw My Life that I would recommend.
Yes. I think there's something about like, when you use the drawing and the whiteboard, it just is like, this is just like straight up, like, here's the story, plain.
Right.
Here it is for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use symbols so you can figure this out. We're visualizing this.
So Ryan, thank you for sharing. We
Yes.
love you. Congratulations. And keep doing you. You're changing lives.
Yeah. All right, my number 2, we're getting into some star power right now. Ellen Page Comes Out. Now, this obviously made a lot of waves in the media because she is, of course, an actress, a celebrity.
A celebrity.
But she hadn't come out, and she felt that she was sort of lying by omission.
Right.
That by not talking about who she truly was, she wasn't, you know, she was living a lie, and she wanted to contribute, and she was like, you know, if I have the opportunity to make a difference, then I'm gonna stand up and say what I'm about.
Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for giving me hope. And please keep changing the world for people like me. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you.
So this was at the Time to Thrive conference, which is all about the welfare of LGBT youth. So the perfect, you know, time for her to really stand up and say to the world, I'm gay.
And I am here today because I am gay. And because...
which is exactly what she did. But being Ellen Page, she was super eloquent about it, and she also had this like ability to speak to millions.
Right,
Boom,
and
right there.
I think my favorite part of it was so like raw and real, and you could see like
you could tell she was emotional.
She was emotional, and she was going through it, and she was going through it live on stage, and like just like putting everything out there.
If we took just 5 minutes to recognize each other's beauty instead of attacking each other for our differences, that's not hard. It's really an easier and better way to live. And ultimately, it saves lives.
It's beautiful.
It's so, right, and so this is talking like really big picture here. I mean, obviously there's her coming out and being brave enough to do that, but then there's the whole piece of like, we all just need to be nicer to each other.
Right.
You're here because you've adopted as a core motivation the simple fact that this world would be a whole lot better if we just made an effort to be less horrible to one another.
Okay, so for my number 2, I have to talk about one of my good friends, and that is none other than Hannah Hart and her coming out series. So if you watch her channel, you know that she loves getting drunk on camera and cooking food, but then on her second channel...
Which is a true calling.
Right, it is a calling. But then on her second channel, she gets a little bit more intimate, and she shares a lot of her stories and a lot of her struggles and a lot of things that she's going
vlogs.
through. Right. And on that channel, she has a series where she talks about all the different things that have to do with her coming out experience. And there are 6 episodes so far. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. But it starts in 2012, and she's kind of just telling her story of finding herself, finding out who she is, the process that she personally took.
It would be awesome to wake up one morning and be like, did I just put on some hiking boots? I must be gay. Did I just play volleyball? I must be gay.
And it goes as far as to just this year, in 2014, where she was on the LGBT panel at VidCon with me. And it's her backstage afterwards. And I didn't even know she did this video.
Yeah, you had no idea.
We all went backstage and we kind of went our separate ways. And she filmed just a quick little vlog, like update, of what that moment was like for her.
Hey guys, so I'm backstage after the LGBT panel at VidCon. And this year, for some reason, it's really hitting me.
It was called Sticking Around.
Sticking Around, and it's just really true and unedited and raw, and her speaking directly to her audience and to the people that might need to hear it.
We're in a room filled with kids who maybe 10 or 15 years ago didn't have this kind of inclusivity and support. You really can't help but wonder I'm just so happy for the people that stuck around.
To me, this series is what being a YouTuber is all about. And, you know, there's a lot of fun that can be had on YouTube between like challenges and like tag videos and like, you know, goofy things.
Eating all the chicken nuggets.
Right, but this is like what you should be doing in addition to everything else. And that's kind of using your platform to connect with people that are looking for somebody to connect with.
If you or someone you love didn't find their inclusivity in time, then I'm glad that you're still around too.
This is life-saving stuff. And so, Hannah Hart, you are a hero, and I love you. And if you haven't seen this series, if you're going through your own stuff, watch it. You might connect to it, and yeah, it's incredible.
Every year it gets better. It really does.
My number one, we are talking about a pinnacle moment in pop culture history when Ellen DeGeneres came out.
Have strong feelings for someone, romantic feelings.
Ooh, I have goosebumps.
Okay, so this was huge because back in the day when Ellen had her own show, this is like her primetime sitcom show.
Like, yeah, this is
Not the
before
talk show.
before the talk show. There was a sitcom.
There was a sitcom. And her character engaged in this, like, for like a long time, there was this kind of like tease about what was her sexuality.
I feel like I need your support right now.
Oh, you got it.
Well, of course we support you.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
The whole nation was sort of watching and waiting to see what would happen on the Ellen show. Would she come out?
So thanks for stopping by. This was a lot of fun. Okay.
For God's sake, Ellen, tell him you're gay.
She, of course, did, and became the first openly gay character in a lead role ever.
On primetime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Primetime, like, I mean, this is huge.
Humongous.
There was all sorts of support, all sorts of backlash. I mean, it was this huge moment.
Yeah, the biggest thing is it opened a dialogue
Oh my
all
gosh.
about it, and
Well,
like
she was
before
on
it was like
yeah.
quiet and hushed.
She was on the cover of Time magazine, and it literally just said, "Yep, I'm gay."
Yes, I'm gay.
I mean, this was boom out there.
Mhm.
She went there. Oprah was involved. Oprah played her therapist in the episode where she's like talking about going through this.
You're nervous or what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Everybody thinks I'm a freak.
Oprah did a big interview with her about what was going on, and it was this. I mean, I would say, like, if you're looking at just the timeline for LGBTQ rights.
This was a huge moment.
Yes.
This was huge.
This was a big one. And it's so nuts to, I mean, you look at Ellen now and she is so comfortable in her skin. And
Right.
she's someone that makes everyone else so comfortable.
Every time I would say I'm gay, when I'd lean forward to the microphone and say I'm gay for the rehearsal, every time I'd sob, because I had never said that.
She just creates so much good vibes in the universe.
But I do think that looking at this moment, it's like so important because a lot of people might think like, oh, I'm currently going through this struggle. But you look at Ellen and you think, oh, she's always been so comfortable. No, not everyone has always been so comfortable. You have to get to that point, and going through that, you know, uncomfortableness of figuring out who you are. Everyone goes through that.
Everything. I mean, look at her fashion from the show and look at it today.
Right.
It's a journey, guys.
It's a journey.
It's a
Everyone's
journey.
going through that journey. Okay, so for my number one, we have to talk about my buddy Troye. He is
A pivotal moment in YouTube
a pivotal
history.
moment in YouTube history, from mainstream media to YouTube, you know, history
Bringing
itself.
it back to-
Bringing it back. Troye
Ground
Sivan coming out and telling the world that he's gay.
This is probably the most nervous I've ever been in my entire life, but I'm going to deal with it.
For him, it was like one of those moments where he was afraid of what the stereotype of coming out in entertainment means. It means losing your career. It means, you know, your audience turning on you. That's what a lot of people think. And so for him, it was just him sharing who he was and
He
telling
was
the world.
insecure about.
Yeah, he was going through that process of knowing who he was, but unclear of if he should tell his audience.
I want you guys to know that I'm gay. It feels kind of weird to have to announce it like this on the internet.
Nothing will ever be bad about being more honest about who you are.
I'm surrounded by the most amazing, amazing people. If anything, it just brought me and my friends a lot closer and me and my family a lot closer because I didn't have anything to hide anymore.
Right, and it's not, there's no timeline, whatever it's right for you. Like,
Right.
You know, and I think what we see in all these videos is that people just are like, it's time.
Right.
I want to put it out there. And then what's so beautiful about YouTube is then we get to share it.
Right. And all the time you see these like it gets better videos online and things of that nature where, you know, for people it's really, really, really shit in the beginning. but don't worry, it gets better.
And I think the overarching message of all of these videos is that do it at your own pace, do it when it's right for you, do it when it's safe, and if you are an ally, the best way to be an ally is to tell people, listen, I am supportive, and if you need me, I'm here for you, but not to like push it yourself, but just to be that resource if they need you.
Well, I'm so glad we got to do this
I
because
love this.
obviously it's fun to talk about silly Game of Thrones parody videos.
No, it's not.
And all the wolves and the kittens and the unicorns.
And Frozen.
And Frozen.
Yeah.
But it's so awesome to get to do this with you in particular.
Right.
And like talk all about the beautiful things that are going on YouTube, especially in light of National Coming Out Day. So we are sending all sorts of good vibes to everybody whose video we feature.
And all of you
So
at
proud of
home
y'all.
who are trying to figure out your own lives, we love you. And we are here for you, and yeah, that's all. If you like this video, what can they do?
You can press that like button, you can press the subscribe button, you can do all of those things.
And while you're on the internet, go check out all those coming out videos and share them with the people that you love and spread the positivity and spread the love and, you know, do those things.
This is what makes the internet like a special unicorn place.
Right. Okay, bye y'all.